Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's your boy Tanvir Side of Bengal Dragon. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons, as all your support really helps you remain motivated to continue making these type of videos on a consistent basis on this channel. And also doesn't cost you anything. So, this is an updated thoughts on the situation with Pakistan cricket at the moment. And for this video, I'm not going to do the Urdu Hindi thing because I've seen like the return on investment is not worth the effort. What I've seen from the number of views in my previous video. But anyways, and I'm pretty sure most of you understand English as it is. So, this is more particularly a response to an article by, I believe, Osman Samiuddin. The link is in the description below. So it is an ESPN cricinfo article. Please do have a read at it. And there are some choice words that were used. First of all, the headline is that the PCB, or the ECB rather, English Cricket Board, essentially slapped Pakistan in the face through their decision. And essentially repaying Pakistan's favor to England by showing them the middle finger. And don't take my word for it. These are the words that the author of the article used multiple times. Middle finger. Okay. And usually you do not see that type of language or that type of expression from a senior editor at cricinfo, which means that the reaction had to be pretty severe, and the emotional impact of the decision had to be pretty significant to elicit such a reaction. And having read this article, yeah, I kind of empathize with them. Because the article indicates that during the time of COVID, Pakistan was the team that toured the most and helped, and was one of the integral teams to help bring international cricket back to other teams. But when the time came to return the favor, teams like England said no. Now, here's where I disagree with him. He is conflating New Zealand with England, and so is Ramiz Raja. Here, I disagree with them because now this is publicly known, okay? Because this is even from ESPN Cricinfo. The Five Eyes intelligence group, and by the way, I knew about the existence of the Five Eyes intelligence group before Cricinfo, because I do follow other news, content of other news channels as well, and it is through something like, which is like on a regular basis, I've seen on other news channels that I've come to know about the Five Eyes group, which involves the UK, the United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Their intelligence suggested that there might be a threat. That is why the New Zealand government issued an order to New Zealand cricket. New Zealand cricket does not have the authority to say no to their bosses, to the New Zealand government. So it was not up for debate. So this is why I don't blame New Zealand cricket for this, because their hands were tied. If they had a direct order from the government, do you expect them to say, no, we're not going to listen to you because we don't believe you? No, of course not. But even in the ESPN Cricinfo articles, it has come out that the British High Commission has stated that England's pulling out, it's not a decision from the government because the travel advisory hasn't changed. It is a decision from the English Cricket Board itself, which, in all honesty, it makes English cricket look bad, in my opinion. Because, and these are all documented evidences. Okay, these are all documented events. These are not for dispute. When English cricket, when English cricket were in trouble due to the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions and whatnot, okay, and they were struggling to find people to tour, Pakistan toured them twice. Not once, twice since the COVID-19 pandemic hit. And, like, in return, the English Cricket Board straight out didn't it? I don't think even postponed it, like, because the word that I'm hearing is cancelled it, as if they have no intention of helping Pakistan out. Even, like, play in a neutral venue, like, okay, UAE is not available, okay, go play in Sri Lanka. I don't think they're doing anything at the moment. Bangladesh, it's going to be a bit more difficult as a neutral venue because, like, obviously you have COVID-19 restrictions over there as well, and we just got out of another wave of COVID-19. So, like, the Bangladeshi government will not, and no one from Bangladesh will be looking forward to hosting two nations that, like, which does not involve them, and then bring back all the the regulations again. So, but I'm pretty sure there were alternatives, like, let's say, maybe why not even the United States? You have a cricket ground in, here in Florida, you have a cricket ground, and the restrictions are easing up a bit more, provided everyone got fully vaccinated. And I'm certain, I'm somewhat confident that the players are mature enough to have gotten fully vaccinated by now, at least with, like, a competent, like, virus, at least, like, by Western standards, like, such as the AstraZeneca, COVID-19 vaccine and whatnot. But there were options, but England just flat out said no. And this article pointed out many contradictions with England's position, that they cite mental fatigue. However, they're not mentally fatigued enough to play in the IPL and go to India during a huge wave of COVID-19. They're not fatigued enough to play in the UAE in the resumption of the IPL. But they're fatigued enough to play other forms of international cricket. And if I'm not mistaken, the Pakistan tour, it was also two T20s. You could have moved those to the United States. No problem. You would have sold out. Believe me, like, and just to show you how profitable cricket can be in the United States, when Bangladesh came to Fort Lauderdale, even I was surprised, and I've been living in the United States since 2014. Okay, like, yeah, I'm an international student, but whatnot. But even I was surprised by how many Bangladeshi people showed up in Florida. I was absolutely surprised. I'm like, oh my God, this is like a home venue crowd. So do you think the Pakistan team will not find that type of support here? Or the English team will not find that type of support here? So, anyways, like I said, I empathize with the PCB because, believe it or not, Bangladesh not an identical situation, but have gone through similar situations where apparently security concerns are definitely a concern unless it involves a tour of India. Because why do I keep bringing this up? That what happened, I believe, in 2008 in November, the English team went back, and then you had this whole propaganda campaign to bring England back into India and complete the series. Whilst an attack happened. When the 2005 Ashes happened, you had that horrible thing that happened in England, the attacks and whatnot. Australia went back, but then through some negotiation, Australia came back again. So, and like I said, why once again I don't count New Zealand, because in all honesty, New Zealand has done what it could do without overstepping their boundaries. Because if you say no to the government, that is overstepping your boundary. You cannot say no to your own government. And this is why, like, he brought up, the, big three and departing from the big three. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, and Ramiz Raja, he hit, without saying it outright, he hit the nail on the head. It is about the economy of cricket. You should not only make your team better, but you should make your team more profitable. Do you get what I'm saying? There should be money. There should be money in it. It's all about money. England players are not willing to tour Pakistan, but are willing to tour, like, these other nations and whatnot, especially the IPL, through even harsher restrictions because of the money. And listen, the IPL is a very, very profitable tournament. At least that's like, I believe I've seen someone in the rankings, like, number one is obviously the NFL. Okay, even FIFA doesn't touch the NFL. The FIFA World Cup tournaments, they don't touch the NFL. And I think like number two is the FIFA World Cup, number three the English, the Barclays Premier League and whatnot. And somewhere after that, number four is the IPL. Okay, so it's not like it doesn't have a financial side to it. But the problem now is that, like, it's focusing solely on the money and not too much on, like, the fraternity of cricket, as Ramiz Raja, I wouldn't say puts it, but indicates. So that's basically the bottom line, the root cause of why the structure of cricket is even more fractured than it is, and why, like, it's even, like, it's gone to the point where, like I said, or many people have said, cricket seems to be the only sport that is shrinking, the only global sport that is shrinking, because there's no real money in cricket outside of the big three. Bangladesh, they're starting to get there. I would say they're starting to break even and maybe, like, even become profitable. New Zealand also, I'll say, I guess they're starting to get there as well. But this is a time when, like, like I said, my heart goes out to my heart goes out to the Pakistan cricket establishment and whatnot, because, like, if you're a cricket fan, especially the fans, if you're a cricket fan, you want to see your country do good, okay? and you don't want other nations to take your country as a joke. Now, Pakistan, okay, they have been there for other teams, but when it came to reciprocity, many of the other teams they said no. And this is why I understand the frustration in that article by Usman Samiuddin, I believe, that it was like absolutely a middle finger. So, like some people said that, like, England's such behavior will lose them friends. Now, this is just a prediction from me. Maybe England are thinking we don't need unprofitable friends. We need friends and relationships that are profitable. That's more important than keeping friends that are non. If we can keep more friends that are profitable at the expense of friends that are not profitable, they will rather do the profitable, financially profitable. They'll rather take that financially profitable option. This is just my prediction on how they might be thinking. Obviously, I could be wrong. But yes, in the global scale, this does make English cricket look bad. And English cricket only recently became something that is to be taken seriously. Because if you recall, from the 90s up until, let's say, 2005, no one took English cricket seriously. England were seen as one of those smaller nations of cricket. In fact, in that time, Pakistan cricket, that was the last great era of Pakistan cricket. After that, it started to go down. Especially, when people like Inzamam, and even you can say to an extent Misbah Haq also, retired. Then it really started to go down. So, so those are my two cents on this topic. It's mostly about the money, and if there has to be a solution, it is that not only Pakistan cricket but world cricket overall has to be made more profitable, and those profits cannot be so skewed as they are right now. Obviously, India has the biggest population, so most of the money will come from them. But percentage wise, I do feel that the other nations can actually do better financially when it comes to making cricket more profitable. And I'm more surprised, by teams such as West Indies. Like they have a decent enough population to actually bring back more money and interest into cricket. And it was such a shame with Alan Stanford what happened. Like in an alternate universe, had that scandal not happened, and if Sir Alan Stanford was legit, good Lord, I think he was on to bringing a new revival back into Caribbean cricket. So obviously, cricket definitely needs their investors. It needs better infrastructure, whatnot, and it needs a lot of proactive thinking as well. And by the way, just as a side note, the 100, really? You're trying to experiment again? After such a small stint with T20, do you really think the 100 has staying power? Do you really think T10 has that much staying power as T20? Give me a break, buddy. Anyways, please do leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, hit that like, subscribe, bell notification buttons. It's your boy Tanveer Side, the Bengal Dragon, signing out.